Once upon a time, in a small village in Italy, there lived a poor but kind-hearted woodcarver named Geppetto. Geppetto spent his days making wooden toys and little trinkets, which he sold in the marketplace. Though he was humble and had very little, his heart was full of dreams. One day, Geppetto found a very special piece of wood. It wasn't like the others. It seemed to almost whisper and glow with life. With great care, Geppetto carved the wood into the shape of a little boy. He gave him a bright smile, curious eyes, and dressed him in tiny clothes. Finally, he named him Pinocchio. That night, as Geppetto looked at his creation, he sighed. "Oh, how I wish I had a real son to call my own," he whispered before going to bed. And as the moonlight shone through the window, something magical happened. The kind blue fairy appeared. She gently waved her wand and spoke. "Good Geppetto, your kind heart deserves happiness. I will bring life to this wooden puppet." With a sparkle of light, Pinocchio blinked, stretched, and came to life. "Father!" he cried. Geppetto awoke with joy. "Pinocchio! My son!" The blue fairy told Pinocchio, "If you are brave, truthful, and unselfish, one day you will become a real boy. But beware, every time you tell a lie, your nose will grow longer." Pinocchio nodded, but he was already dreaming of adventure. The next morning, Geppetto sent Pinocchio off to school with a few coins for books. "Be a good boy, Pinocchio," Geppetto said lovingly. But on his way, Pinocchio met two sly tricksters, a cunning fox and a sneaky cat. "School, bah!" laughed the fox. "Come with us to the puppet show, much more fun." "Yes, yes," purred the cat. "You'll be famous, and everyone will cheer for you." Pinocchio hesitated. "But my father wants me to study." "Just one show won't hurt," they insisted. And so Pinocchio was led to the puppet theater. The puppeteer was amazed by a puppet that could dance and talk all by itself. But instead of letting him go, the greedy man locked Pinocchio in a cage. Pinocchio cried and wished he had gone to school. Just then, the blue fairy appeared. "Why are you here, Pinocchio?" she asked kindly. Pinocchio wanted to tell the truth, but instead he said, "I was kidnapped on my way to school." And poof! His nose grew long and wooden. "Oh no!" Pinocchio gasped. The blue fairy shook her head. "Remember, Pinocchio, only truth can set you free." Ashamed, Pinocchio admitted, "I disobeyed father. I wanted to go to the puppet show." Immediately, his nose shrank back to normal. The fairy freed him, warning, "Be wise from now on." Pinocchio tried again to go home, but once more the fox and cat tricked him. "This time, come with us to Pleasure Island," the fox said. "There are no rules there, only games, sweets, and fun." Pinocchio couldn't resist. At the island, he played, laughed, and ate candies all day with other boys. But soon something strange happened. The boys began to grow donkey ears and tails. One by one, they turned into donkeys. Pinocchio looked at his reflection and screamed. He too had donkey ears. "I should have listened to father!" he cried. At last, Pinocchio escaped the island and tried to return home. But when he arrived, Geppetto was gone. The neighbors told him that Geppetto had gone to sea to search for him. Without hesitation, Pinocchio set off to find his father. On his journey, he faced storms, hunger, and danger. At last, he discovered that Geppetto had been swallowed by a giant whale. Pinocchio bravely swam into the dark belly of the whale. There he found Geppetto sitting sadly with a lantern. "Father!" Pinocchio cried, hugging him. "Pinocchio, my son, you risked your life for me," Geppetto said, tears in his eyes. Pinocchio thought quickly. "We can escape by making the whale sneeze." So he gathered wood, lit a fire, and soon the whale gave an enormous sneeze. Achoo! Blowing them both safely back into the sea. Back on shore, Geppetto held Pinocchio tightly. Pinocchio had shown courage, love, and sacrifice. That night, the blue fairy appeared once more. "Pinocchio, you have proven yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish. From this day forward, you shall be a real boy." With a swirl of magic, the wooden puppet turned into a living, breathing child. Geppetto wept with joy. "My son! My real son!" And from that day on, Pinocchio and Geppetto lived happily together, cherishing every moment as a true father and son. And so, Pinocchio's story teaches us all: honesty, kindness, and courage will always lead us home.